All right, we're waking all cleaned up. It's 6:49. Was trying to be out of here by 7. May still be able to make that happen. We got a 7.5 to 8 hour road trip ahead. Shouldn't be that bad. But all right, everything's packed up. I'm gonna grab some coffee downstairs, load up the car, and hit the road. This is not optimal weather. Yuck. It's like so misty and foggy. See how this looks on the road. Hopefully it completely goes away once the sun comes out. I think I was like 4 miles from the South Carolina border. It has gotten so foggy. The visibility is I'm sure you can see that is terrible. And now the GPS is rerouting me way out and around something. I took the address out and put it back in just to double check before I got off the interstate, but it's got to be diverting around something. I'm guessing it's an accident because of all the fog. The problem is, it was about, I was trying to make it to the next Buc-ee's in Florence, South Carolina. And I had when I left, it was like 280 miles to get there. And I had enough gas to get me 285 miles. The sad thing is, I was checking this at the gas station this morning when I got the coffee. And I thought, no, I won't put gas in the car. I've got enough to get there. It'll be fun to see if I can make it. Well, as you may have guessed, now with this diversion, I don't think I'm going to make it. Now, it says 178 miles for my range, and it's 181 miles to the Buc-ee's. Choices. All right, enough of this. It's time for the sun to come up. I can't see anything. All right, we're at a rest stop. It's, I think I'm like an hour from the Florence, which will be my next gas stop. Just had to stop and use the bathroom. But just took a walk around, stretched the legs out a little bit. Thought maybe just why the road trip. And so, number one is to see Jacob, Hannah, and Sam. I haven't seen them since, I think the last time I saw them in person may have been in like September, which is crazy. It's probably the longest I've ever gone without seeing them. Face to face. I mean, we talk all the time on the phone or through text, but so really looking forward to seeing them tomorrow. But then since I was coming up, I just took another day off of work just so that I could see Mom. And I haven't seen Mom since Jacob's graduation in May. And I don't know, you kind of get into that age where, my parents aren't getting any younger. And, you're just at that age where you just don't know, you can't quantify how much longer you're going to have your parents. And I want to make sure, and I've been saying this for several years, I want to make sure I can see them as much as I can. And I don't make as much of an effort with that as I really need to. I need to do a lot better with that. So this is part of me making more of an effort. So I'll go up and see her, be at her house for a little while, then we'll go out to dinner tonight, and then I'm staying with her tonight, and then headed out first thing in the morning. All right, enough of a detour. Get back on the road. All right, car's filled up with gas. It's even cheaper here than it was at the last spot. $2.39 a gallon, which just seems a little crazy. Filled the whole tank up for 35 bucks. So, yeah. Got another big ass fountain drink. Got some gummy bears to snack on, and I got a brisket sandwich, which I am going to find myself a nice little parking spot here and eat before we get going. 4 hours to go, so get this sandwich in the gut and then back on the road. We got to cut up through every which way, I think, from here. Let's see. Headed to Roanoke from here. Yeah, so leaving out of here, looks like we're cutting through some back roads, going up Highway 38. We take that until I get to Interstate 74, and Interstate 74 cuts all the way back up to Greensboro, and then once we hit Greensboro, we end up in 220. 220 takes you right up into Roanoke. So yeah, off 95, 4 more hours to go. Here we go. All right, I'm now on the far side of Start over. All right, I'm now on the far side of Greensboro, North Carolina. I can't really be that far from the Virginia state line. I'm not exactly sure how far, but I got to be getting close. I think like 25 miles from getting on Route 220. And like I said, once I'm on Route 220, it's a straight shot into Roanoke. Anywho, we're getting close, like an hour and a half. I was watching through some Casey Neistat videos just to pass the time. Not like watching videos, anybody's concerned. More like listening. But he just happened to say almost the exact same thing that I just said a few hours ago when I was back at the rest area. Yeah, I hit back as soon as he said it and screen recorded it. Here it is.
It's tough. It's like the older you get, the more important family becomes, the harder it is to actually see family. Kind of makes me sad.
I mean, it's the same thing. Of course, he said it a little better because it's Casey, but I mean, so true. And it kind of like totally incorporates like the two pieces, I think, that of this trip, really, but also just kind of like that point in your life. And I think, you know, I'll be 47 this year. So like halfway through this thing. And you start thinking about that in your head, right? And you want to make the most out of every second that you have. And you definitely want to make the most out of every second you have with the people around you that aren't going to be here for all of those minutes. And the most important of those people are your parents. You know, but the opposite side to that, the yang to that yin is that, you know, at the very same time that, like, you know, you're fighting through that and struggling with that because you want to spend a lot of time with your parents, and you're you know, you've got work responsibilities and life and marriage and all that other stuff is pressing in to kind of keep that from happening. On the flip side of that, my kids are just getting to the age now where they're out of college and getting their first job, and you know, in and out of relationships that might not be like the relationship they're in for the rest of their life, and they're figuring things out and doing things, and they're kind of in the opposite space where they're, you know, I want them to want to spend time with me, but they've got so much going on that I've got to be okay with letting them be. So like you're trying to grab with this hand, and then you're trying to let go with this one. It's just an odd spot. Anywho, all right, driving along now, starting to get into a little bit more like rolling hills, and then once we cross over into Virginia, we're going to start getting back into the mountains. And I miss the mountains so much. I'm looking forward to that. There we go. All right, back home in Roanoke, and this is probably going to be the end of the vlog for today, because I'm not going to take video while I'm with the family, and just enjoy being with them, and then staying at mom's tonight. So I'll be with everybody else for the rest of the day, but definitely feels good to be home, and it feels good to be able to see those mountains. All right, vlog's over for today. Talk to you guys later.